Hi guys, so today we are talking all about Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning is so interesting because she has this otherworldly look to her, and at the same time she also has a very cute look to her too. And she also has these really long lines to her silhouette. She's quite tall, and so that really, all of that sort of combined gives her a really unique look. And so here you can see her with this very Victorian type of dress, and the hair being up and curled and everything being very low contrast and sort of matching her low contrast coloring. And I think that looks really amazing on her. I do think that in this look, it's not really honoring her ingenue essence as much, meaning it's really not honoring the fact that she does have some cute features. So looks like this can sometimes be ironically aging on someone who is ingenue. But other than that, I really do love this on her. And so here you can really see her skin tone. And what's interesting about Elle is that her skin tone is actually really bright, and you can see how she just has this brightness to her. She doesn't look very soft or muted, even though she is very light and her features are all very light. Everything is very light. Light does not always mean soft in the way that I do my color typings, and Elle is a great example of that. So with her, you can see those brighter colors to her face, a brighter red, to her lips, a brighter red to her cheeks, things like that. And overall, just the skin tone itself is really quite bright and radiant. And so I would place her into cool and radiant. By the way, if you are completely confused about what I'm talking about, of course, take a look around my channel. I'm talking about body types, I'm talking about essences, and I'm talking about color types and how all of that plays together and how that combines to form Elle's unique look. And so there are a lot of different body type, color type, essence combinations, as you can imagine. So, and I cover a lot of that all over my channel. I have a ton of videos at this point, so you guys can really dive deep into all of these topics if you're interested. And if you are still confused and want to figure out your own essence and body type and color type, but you're not so sure about what it could be, then I also offer body typing, color typing, and a full report as well, which is everything combined, including essence. And I'll leave a link to all of those down below. Okay, let's get back to Elle. So you can see here, Elle is actually really quite tall, and she has those long lines, and I would place her into beveled firm, and the closest Kibbe type to that is flamboyant natural. And so the reason for that is because she has length to her silhouette, and she also has width to her shoulders, as we'll see later in a few other pictures. Here you can see back to her skin tone. You can see that her skin tone can really hold its own against this really dark, obviously pure black dress that she's wearing. And the only reason this dress looks so harsh on her is actually because her hair is just too light and her features are too light. And that's why she can't really wear black. I wouldn't recommend that she wears black, but she, in terms of the radiance of her skin tone does not shy away from this pure black color. And that's because she is cool and radiant. She's cool and bright. She does not need soft muted colors. So here you can actually see how with this, the sheen helps a lot. So if you want to wear a muted color and you are a bright undertone and you feel like it really washes you out or something, some sheen or something shiny or sparkly to the fabric, depending on your body type, will work really well to kind of add some dimension and not have the color be so muted looking. But this color, I don't really prefer this color on Elle, simply because you can see how it just it doesn't do much for her. Even though it sort of matches her lighter features, it doesn't really honor her skin tone in any particular way. And you can see here, you can see how she has a bit of width to her shoulders, and then she also, I think she, gosh, you guys, I actually don't know. She did play a model, I think, in the movie Neon Demon, but I don't know if she actually models, but she has that model body type, if you will, because she has the width to her shoulders, and then she has the long lines, and she has the height. And so here you can see that she's wearing the yellow, and, I have another picture where she looks better in yellow. Here, in my opinion, she really does not look that good in this yellow, okay? And I think that it makes her look kind of red. I think it's just not really working for her. And that's because she's a cool undertone, and the yellow is really going to make her look a bit too red. Yellow in general is not a flattering color if you're cool toned. I don't care if it's a cool yellow or a warm yellow. If you ever can find a cool yellow, let me know. But in my book, there's really no such thing. I mean, of course, there is such a thing as a cool yellow because there are cooler yellows. But in my book, a cool yellow is like saying a cool day in the Sahara Desert. Yellow is a warm color. The Sahara Desert is very warm. If you have a cool day in the Sahara Desert, it's still probably pretty warm or pretty hot. Same with yellows. Yellows are still all warm. If you are a cool undertone, you really, really will not be flattered by yellow colors. Having said that, some people have warmer features like Elle's hair and things like that. Sometimes people still, even when they're cool toned, they like to wear yellow. Be my guest if you want to wear yellow, that's fine. I'm not, I don't make any rules, you know what I mean? I'm only telling you that if you wear yellow and you're a cool undertone, your skin will look worse. So just, if you love wearing yellow, just put on more makeup and just wear yellow. Because you can make up for how much worse your skin tone looks by wearing more makeup if you feel like it. But if you feel great in yellow, again, be my guest. You don't have to do anything that I tell you, just to be clear, okay? This is just my advice if you're looking for it. If you want to look nice and you want for your skin tone to look even and you're a cool undertone and you want to wear yellow, just put more makeup on, okay? If you are not going to do your makeup, and you usually do, like if it's more of a casual look, for casual outfits and things like that, I really recommend choosing things in your own colors, just because that's when things matter the most, is when you're not wearing makeup. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. Let's keep going. So here, okay, this is the thing. She is bright, but this color is just too much on her because of how light her hair is in this photo and everything. I mean, of course, again, her skin tone can stand its ground, against this bright color. It's not shying away, I don't think it really, the skin tone is really what's causing her to look a tiny bit washed out. I think she still looks really pretty good in this, and that's because she is cool and radiant. I would just make this a little bit lighter. And yeah, and this is, again, not really honoring her ingenue essence, so it can be a little bit aging. These kinds of hairstyles can be a little bit aging on someone who looks really pretty cute. So in some ways, a lot of people who look cute, they sometimes will want to look older. And some people who look older, they want to look younger. Okay? So everybody, grass is always greener. But the thing is that people who look kind of cute and young, if they try to go overboard and to look older, sometimes like one of two things can happen. They can look older, as in they can look more aged, not necessarily more mature, but just more aged. And that is not always in a flattering way, because it's not something that really matches how they look, you see? And in that sense, it can look aged and not in a flattering way, because you can look older in a flattering way, and you can even look aged in a flattering way. Like if you're ethereal, you can look older and more wise, and that's very flattering. So there's nothing wrong with looking older or even looking aged, but when it's done in an unintentional or unflattering way, that's when people tend to not like the effect. So my whole thing is, whatever you're trying to do it intentionally. Do it in a way that you know what you're doing, you know what you're getting yourself into. A lot of the time I see people who do look kind of cute, they try to look older, and then they just look either aged or they look like they're playing dress up. And I don't think either of those things are things that they are really going for. So yeah, I mean, you can see, so these are all from the Gray, I think, so far, and she's really funny in that series. And I really think it's interesting to see her specifically in The Great, because she, with ethereal ingenue, she looks like a sort of a cute angel, and then when she loses her mind in The Great as Catherine the Great, it's just she just seems even more unhinged, because it's just this angel looking person, you know, losing their mind or getting angry or something. So for those of you who, you know, may have a cute look to you or look a bit more innocent, that can sometimes really throw people off. And, you know, if you are more intimidating or more angry or something like that, that can sometimes read as even more intimidating than if someone who was not cute was intimidating, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. So what I'm trying to say is, don't worry, okay? If you look cute and you don't want to look cute, then just don't act cute. And then people will get scared. They really will, because nothing is scarier than something that we don't expect, okay? So, moving on. Like this, okay? So she, I think, looks really beautiful here. I really love this for her. Now, is this really honoring her unique beauty? In my opinion, not exactly. You know, I think that it's not really honoring her unique beauty, but she is very beautiful, you know, so she can do a lot of different looks very well. I think the black here is really excellent on her because, first of all, she's cool and radiant. Secondly, she's pulled in some black, I think, yeah, as her like eye makeup, and her eyebrows are a bit darker. And so what's happening is that she's not as washed out by the black because of her lighter features. So if you're someone who is really light and you're blonde or whatever, and you want to wear black, a good way to go about this, depending on your body type and your bone structure, is to just go for like darker eye makeup to just bring in some contrast to your face, and then that way you can wear black. The other thing about wearing black is, if you're this light in your features and your skin tone, is that if you wear it in a lightweight fabric, or if you wear it in a sheer fabric, that can, or with sheer lace like this here, that can really lift the how heavy the look is on you. So black can tend to look very heavy on people who are light. But if you literally make it a lightweight fabric, or if you literally wear black in more of a sheer fabric, that of course not only literally makes it look lighter because you can see her light skin through it, but it also just makes it look softer and not as harsh as maybe like a black tailored blazer or something like that. But is this the look that I would choose for her? Not particularly. You know, I think she looks beautiful here, but this doesn't really play into her unique look, her ethereal ingenue essence. And so here again, it's the same thing. It's not that she looks bad. She looks fine. It's just that it's not really honoring her ethereal ingenue essence. And I think that's really the thing, is that, you know, if you really honor your own unique look, I really believe no one else can do it better than you. That's the thing. And my question is, what is Elle's look that no one else can do better than her? And so here, you know, she still looks really quite ethereal, okay, because of the sort of the glowiness of her skin, even though she's not dressed ethereal, or, you know, like she's not dressed like an angel or in period pieces or something like that. And the reason I think this is because sometimes if you just dress in like a minimal version of your lines, your essence will just shine through as it is. And so that's what she's doing here. She pretty much has, you know, kind of an oversized blazer and kind of like a very minimal look, and then she has a bit more of that glowy skin look to her and looks like pretty minimal makeup. So it's really just honoring her essence in the sense that it's just letting it shine through, you see. And so if you just wear your lines as they are, your essence is just going to shine through. But actually this look, it's not actually, you'll see, okay, what's actually happening here is like her hair is covering this little bow tie, and I think it's literally adorable. I love it. I love it. This is just perfect for her, because if you see her in interviews, she is really upbeat, she's really fun, and I think in one interview she said that she's always happy, you know, and I just think that little detailing just really adds personality. It really works with her personality. It works with her look, and she just, you know, because she comes across also as pretty positive and sort of upbeat, and she has a cute face, and so it all just works together so well. And so what she has done here is she basically wore her own lines. So listen up, you guys, if you are someone whose essence like so-called doesn't match your lines, if you can even say that. I don't really believe there's such a thing, but I think you know what I mean. So if you are someone who's really tall and has like really long lines and, you know, has a lot of gravitas to your frame, let's say, like you really have a lot of presence to your frame, you're tall, you have long lines, maybe you have some width to your shoulders like Elle Fanning, but your face can have a lot of cuteness to it like ingenue, right? So what you do is you dress in your own lines. Don't ever dress just cute little frills head to toe if you have a frame like Elle Fanning's, because that's really going to throw off your balance. What you want to do instead is you want to do what she did here. You want to dress in your own lines, and then maybe near your face include something that is more of a cute element if you have a cute face, or vice versa if you have a small, short, curvy frame but your face is really dramatic and really bold. Dress for your short, curvy frame. Don't dress in like long, dramatic lines, you know, just because your face is bold. But then add in some elements of more of that like angularity that your face has, you see? So you can always pull in some aspects of the lines of your face. And overall, you can kind of see sometimes, like when Elle Fanning will do things that are very, we'll get to it, because I really think that her bone structure still shows through, like even in her face. I don't think that there usually is not such a thing where you just like take a face and you just put it on a different body, you know what I mean? I think we're all one body. Our bone structure tends to be kind of very congruent, like our frame and our face, they all kind of work together really harmoniously. So here, you know, you can see, I think that in, of course, like in her expression and everything, like you can see how just, I think, intense this all looks on her, because everything being very fitted and stiff can look pretty stiff on someone with her frame. And at the same time, she looks kind of just, I don't know, angry or something here. So I just think that this casting of her worked out really well for all of these various reasons. You know, it's like in The Great, you know, I've already talked about how she is just, it just seems so scary or intimidating or something when she gets angry, because you wouldn't expect someone who looks like her, you know, with like a cute face and looking all like angel-like and everything like that, to get angry, but she does, and so that's kind of scary. And then also, you know, wearing these like stiffer types of outfits on her like frame that really requires more loose fitting things, more relaxed fitting things, kind of just makes things feel a bit more on edge in a way sometimes, not always. I think that because of the softness of her face, she can do a lot more of that sort of like detailing, but I just like how it all comes together for this character. Yeah, so here, you know, you can see how she just seems like, you know, just a little bit intimidating or something, because I don't think this does not really honor her ingenue essence. This really doesn't honor her ingenue essence at all. Even though it has little curls, like the overall look is actually something that is very grown up, you know, and so that just looks a little bit disconnected from her. Here, you know, I really love seeing her in interviews because you can see like her, obviously, like her real personality, not her playing a character. And she's always smiling, she's always like happy and things, and she's like upbeat, like I said. Just this is how she comes across in interviews. I mean, who knows how she's actually like, you see? But that's how she comes across. And so, you know, she does really well in, you know, here, you know, you can see she sort of like intuitively honors her silhouette. Like the open neckline looks beautiful. Oh my gosh, the open neckline looks beautiful on her. The color also looks beautiful on her. I would like to see it be even a tiny bit brighter, not too bright, not terribly bright, but a tiny bit brighter would be nice, because I do think that, you know, with her personality being so bright and so upbeat, and her skin undertone being so bright and so radiant, and then with her ingenue essence, like brighter colors do suit her pretty well. And so here, I was waiting to get to this picture, you guys, but I don't even remember what I was saying initially, but I'll say it again. Oh yeah, that's right, I remember now. So I think that this overly glam look, you can see how it doesn't exactly suit her completely. You know, she does look beautiful. It does still kind of work on her, but it doesn't suit her completely. Like that overly smoothed hair doesn't really suit her completely. The overly glam hair doesn't suit her completely. It's not that she can't do glam. She would just do glam in her own way. She would do more like sort of loosely tousled hair, you know, that type of glam. You see like long lines, different like luxurious textures type of thing. Like that's going to be her glam as beveled fur in terms of her body type, her lines, her face, everything like that. But this, you know, the hair being this way, it doesn't really work. And the point here is that it doesn't work really even next to her face terribly well. You know, it looks a little bit disconnected. It looks like she tried to look glam. You know, it doesn't look very natural on her, no pun intended, because, you know, she is closest type, Kibby type to her is flamboyant natural, but it doesn't look natural on her. It doesn't look effortless on her when she does this kind of hair. And that's because her body type and her bone structure even comes through, like, even in her face. So yeah. So here I think this looks, you know, just fine. And again, she has like some of that little geometric detailing. I think she does a lot of what you would call, I guess, like gamine essence, so to speak, in her interviews and things like that, and how she dresses in real life sometimes. And, you know, because that bow tie earlier was more of like a gamine essence type of thing. And this is the thing, is if you're ingenue and you don't necessarily feel like girly and cute, you feel more, I don't know, like playful and maybe like more like a gamine type of feel, you can easily reach for gamine instead of ingenue. You see, because those are both pretty youthful essences. So I think ingenue can do well dressing in gamine. If you don't really resonate with ingenue, you could probably do that and it would be fine because they're both so youthful. But again, you know, it doesn't exactly honor her beauty like to a T, but I think it works. This is the thing, is that I really do believe that everyone is greater than the sum of their parts, meaning that if you have a body type, a color type, an essence, and then you have your personality, right? And so all of that it comes together in your image. You know what I mean? Like how you come across at the end of the day. And if you're someone who is, you look very cute, and then but you don't act cute, it's going to be incongruous, non-harmonious to dress cute, even if your face is cute, you see? So really my recommendation is, if you are cute, okay, and you don't feel cute, maybe don't even dress cute. You see what I mean? If you are someone who, you know, your face or your this is the thing, is that when I do essence in my reports, I do them a little bit differently, I think, than I see I see how essence is talked about, and I just do it differently. And I haven't talked that much about this. I do have a few videos on essence, and you can just find them on my channel. I don't even remember what they're called, but I still have the same attitude toward essence like that I did 5 years ago. So and I was typing people that way back then 5 years ago with the essence the way that I was doing it, and I do it this way now as well. And so the way I do it is I just do it based on sort of how you read and how you come across and your body language. So, and I really do believe that in some ways, like our facial expressions and things like that. Now, this is completely different from your body type and your color type and things like that. Essence is more like that je ne sais quoi, if you will, of like, what does someone come across as? And it's their body language, it's their facial expressions. You know, sometimes I see people who I'm typing, and they send me photos, and they're like they're literally on a beach, and everyone's like, yeah, and they're like, you know, like they're just standing like this. Like, why are you standing like this? Oh, it's because, in my opinion, it's because you have a classic essence. You know, it's like their body language is just so proper and elegant and sophisticated all the time that, like, I don't care what I mean, I really don't care what if you have a cute face, so to speak, like if you have big round eyes and everything, but if you're always like holding yourself in this very elegant way, in my book, I still put you into classic essence. It depends, what kind of outweighs things. It's just the combination of everything, just how someone reads, you see? And so all of this is to say that, oh, wait, one more thing. Or like another example would be someone who is like very curvy and short and like just looks very womanly and soft, but then their personality may be more bold and dramatic and not necessarily like soft and like just sensual and all this stuff. Like that's just not how they come across, from everything from the clothes that they choose to wear in all of the photos that they send me to the way that they will pose in photos, like the way that their gaze is, the way that they look at the camera, everything as far as I'm concerned contributes to essence. And so, having said all of that, it's one thing if you are playing a character, that's one thing. Elle Fanning, and I'll show you guys my favorite character for Elle Fanning. I haven't gotten there yet, but for Elle Fanning, the way that she comes across in interviews and things like that is she's very upbeat, very, like she does really well with like gamine elements to her look, you see, because she's just very upbeat and very youthful. And so, even though she doesn't actually have per se gamine essence, you know what I mean? But she's going to dress in her lines and she's going to have like some small geometrics or something near her face or that little bow tie. All of those things are just perfect. Yeah, like here, I mean, I think this is okay. Like I think the high neckline does work for her because of her essence and her youthfulness, but usually beveled firm open neckline. And here you can really see her silhouette, and a lot of people who are beveled firm or who have longer lines, they'll wear, or like even if they are a sharpened bone structure type, like the Kibbe analog is dramatic, anyone with long lines, they'll wear their lines and they believe they're wearing their lines, but in reality they're actually not wearing long lines, okay? So this is a great example of someone who is not wearing long lines, and she has long lines, so she just looks, the look is just very unflattering on her, because that sweatshirt, the top is just, it's kind of like it has this cropped feel to it. So if you are someone with long lines to your silhouette, you want to absolutely avoid really things that kind of like cut you in half like that. Now it's fine if you even want to wear like a crop top and really long wide leg jeans that go all the way to the floor or something like that. That's fine, don't get me wrong. You don't have to wear everything long and loose, head to toe. That's not what I'm saying. But with this, there really aren't any long lines to this because the top it just gives like a cropped effect. It just cuts her in half, and then the jeans are just tight and also kind of like short, I mean, they're not literally short, but the whole thing is not that flattering on her frame. Yeah, so here you can see her with too many, sort of contrasting details, and that's also, it's too much. You really want to go you really want to just add small amounts of your essence and in your own lines to get the best effect. Whatever that essence is, you really want to keep honoring your lines, because if you don't honor your lines, just the lines of your body, no matter your essence, things are going to get distracting, things are going to get confusing, and your essence will actually get lost in the process. So here, I think she looks pretty. I think she looks pretty ethereal here as well, because of the tousled hair and everything, and just her facial expression. So here, I would say she, I don't love the color on her still, okay? So yeah, so in some ways, this is just, it's too close to her skin tone, and that can kind of be unflattering because it's bringing out a lot of reds to her skin. Maybe she just has a lot of blush on and maybe this lighting isn't flattering, but I don't love this on her. I'd much rather see her in like seafoam green, in cornflower blue, things like that. And so yeah, I love this dress though. It's so fun. The feathers, and is that feathers? Yeah, I would call it feathers. Yeah. Now this I really love on her, and this is the thing again, okay? Elle Fanning looks just fine in this yellow, and the reason for that is because she doesn't have very imperfections to her skin. And the thing that's going to happen is that you saw it, in the previous, where is it? In the original photo of her wearing yellow, where it's not very flattering lighting, she really looks a lot more red. So you have to be careful. It's like you can't, if you're someone who has a lot of reds to your skin, and you're someone, if you either lean really very red, very cool, very warm, very olive, you have a very specific skin tone, and you have really very few colors that just look like very excellent on you because you have such an extreme skin tone. And that's the situation with Elle, okay? So she has a very extreme skin tone. She's very cool, she's very bright, and she's also very pink, very rosy. And so in this sense, the yellow is okay on her for a lot of various reasons. And I love this on her. I think this outfit is just beautiful on her. And, it matches her hair, which is a bit warmer, and it also just sort of, it just looks bright in the sense that it's just the perfect brightness. You see, it's not as bright as this dress. It's more pastel, more light, but it's not completely a pastel yellow where it's like a cream or something. So I think this works really well on her. Yeah. So here, of course, this is just like not studio lighting or anything, but you can really see her skin tone. I don't see a lot of warmth to it, so you can really see how her skin looks. I really love this. Now you see, in this case, she's wearing like this sort of like mauve top, and I think that really works on her because it's not going to pick up the cool reds in her skin in an unflattering way, and I think that just looks beautiful on her. This also looks beautiful. I love this because she really looks like she is very ethereal, and it also looks ingenue. And so I think it's like perfect on her, perfect against her features. And I love this. I love this top or dress on her. I think it's perfect. And it just looks it all looks so effortless, doesn't it? And she just looks so beautiful. And here, you can see the brighter colors work on her because she is, I feel like in real life, this is more like her personality. So bright colors work really well on her. And then when she does more soft and muted colors, you see how this can look very intimidating. And I think this is in part because she is ethereal, of course. And also, it's like, I don't know, do you want an angel to look at you like that? Probably not, That's probably not what you want an angel to look at you like, okay? So she really looks like she is like an angel or like some ethereal, otherworldly. You don't want any otherworldly creature to ever look at you like that. That's scary, okay? So that can be very intimidating. So a lot of you who have ethereal essence, who want to come across as not necessarily soft and angel-like, but more intimidating, it's actually very easy for you to come across as intimidating. So yeah, here, I think that the flower is like way too much. I think it just distracts from her beauty. If she just got rid of that flower, she'd look just 5 million times better. Why why? Yeah, I really like how she looks here. I think she just, I love the light colors on her just because she's so light. This is the thing, is if you're really light and you just wear light colors, or if you're really high contrast and you wear high contrast colors, that can just be so flattering. And yeah, the black, I don't think it's doing anything for her. And here, you know, I don't think she looks as ethereal ingenue here. I feel like her essence is getting lost, and that's in part because she's not really wearing her lines. You know, that dress or top is just not really, it's kind of distracting. It's distracting us. Yeah, so here she, you know, I mean, the top in the dress is just not really doing anything for her, but you can see like her personality is really upbeat and just kind of fun. That's my impression. So this is my favorite. This is my personal favorite for how Elle Fanning like ought to be cast, I guess, because this is the thing. She was cast in Marie Shelley. She was Marie Shelley. I loved that movie. I watched the whole thing. I loved it. And so I just loved watching Elle Fanning in that movie as well, because she just looks perfect in it. So let's go into this, okay? So she has like the tousled hair here. It's not like completely just manicured perfect. Everything is like styled perfectly. It's just a bit more tousled, a bit more loose. So that works with beveled firm really well. She is, you know, just wearing her hair in a way that is more intricate, which is more sort of ethereal, but then it's also ingenue because she's not really wearing a lot of makeup, but she looks a bit more bright as well in this movie. She always has some sort of, you see even in this photo, like she has some braiding detailing to her hair, and she just looks both ethereal and ingenue in all of the shots of this movie. And at the same time, she always honors her long lines. It never looks too stiff on her or anything like that. And in terms of the character, I also love the character and the way it's portrayed in this movie for her, because she looks, you know, innocent and ingenue, right? And she also has this ethereal, like, wisdom to her, like otherworldliness to her. And that's exactly what sort of happened in the movie. She had this naivete to her. And then she also had this access to, you know, the collective unconscious, if you will, to just pull out this, you know, she wrote Frankenstein. So she pulled out this idea, this concept of Frankenstein and executed it really well. And so that is that sort of ethereal aspect, that otherworldly aspect, that powerful aspect. And so her character is just perfect for her look. You know, I love that character for her. And the way that they style her is just beautiful as well. It just all comes together perfectly. Okay, so that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I didn't go, you know, on and on about everything. I think that Elle is really one of the most, I guess, complicated cases, you know, especially with her skin tone being so rosy and so light, and at the same time, you know, her essence and her body type sort of juxtaposing each other at times. So there's a lot to talk about with Elle Fanning, and I think that's what makes her look so unique. I love those juxtapositions because they can really, when they're done well, like they were in Marie Shelley, they just are stunning. They are so stunning. I love juxtapositions like that. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Elle Fanning. If you enjoyed this video, then let me know and take a look around my channel. There is a lot more similar to this on my channel. If you like these topics, let me know. If you have any video requests, then let me know as well. And oh yeah, I'll leave the links to all of my typings, my consults down below. And yeah, I'll leave some links to some videos you guys can watch too in the description if you're new here. So, okay. So I think that's all I have to say. I really loved making this video. I love her look. I think it's so interesting to me. And oh, if you have any other celebrities who have interesting or unique looks, then leave those in the comments as well. I'd be interested to take a look at what kinds of different essence, body type, color type combinations are out there that may create an interesting look. Okay, so that is it, you guys. I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.